In the first video of my New Linguistics YouTube channel, I made the mistake of calling this Southwestern England. We used a guy from Clarkson's Farm as an example of a hard to understand accent, and when describing the information about it, we said this was Southwest England, but not quite West Country, right? Because I know it's not West Country. But if I were to draw quadrants in England, I would do it something like that, and this would end up in what I would think is the Southwest. And of course, there were a lot of commenters saying that's wrong. Similarly, I saw this map showing what Europeans consider to be the south of the US, which is obviously not what Americans would consider to be the south. Because normally when we talk about the north, south, east, or west, or certain regions of countries, it's not based on purely geographical quadrants. We divide them for cultural reasons. Maybe it has to do with the climate. Maybe it has to do with the accent. Maybe it's based on history, because even though this is the eastern border, this is not East Germany. But they're not always so clean cut. For example, if I specifically look up England, where does the south begin, I get a bunch of different results, some of them even including a central region. This one even divides anything above London as the north, and then a little area of the hard north, and then the mythical north. Game of Thrones even has a moment where the wildlings, who are from north of the Wall, are talking to Jon Snow, who's from Winterfell, the capital of the north, as in the name of this region. And the wildlings call Jon Snow a southerner, and he's like, I'm not a southerner. And they're like, anyone south of the Wall is a southerner. Because they have different ideas of what the north and south are. This has to do with our relativism, because we see the world in a way that's relevant to our culture. It helps us understand the things around us, and because the culture is more important than simply dividing something geographically into north and south, a distinct shift in culture along north-south lines is where we'll often divide countries or states or provinces between a northern and a southern portion. Some places are east and west, some might be central, and then the rest is like outer regions, radial. Houston, for example, is what would geographically be eastern Texas, but it's not what we consider when we say East Texas. Jersey is starkly divided between north and south, and some say that there's a central, and others would say, no, there isn't a central Jersey. In the north, they say water, like I do. In the south, they say something that I can't even understand. So there's all kinds of divisions like this that are dependent on our cultural understanding of the region. When we're talking about a place that we're not familiar with, we'll often revert back to that basic geographical look of it because that's the way we see it. But while I've got you here, if there are any English people still watching this, please let me know, where does the north end and where does the south begin? And is there a central region that you would make a difference for? And anyone else, let us know, how does your country or region divide itself?